America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the August 11, 2025 Board of Education meeting minutes.
I make a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes.
One second. Got a motion by Jennifer, second by Stacy. Any discussion? Michelle?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Stacy?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Motion carried. Any visitors? Nope. Okay. Public participation for board policy. This portion of the agenda is limited to 4 minutes per individual participant or group representative. This portion of the agenda is for the public participation and information. No student or personnel names are to be mentioned in the discussion. Some questions from our visitors may require research, thus no answer may be available at this moment. In this case, the board will usually take the question under advisement. Is there any public participation? Okay. Educational highlights. Damien?
Okay.
Oh,
All right. I know we have a long board meeting today, so I will try to keep this as concise as possible. But we had a lot of good stuff going on at the beginning of the year. We rolled MWEA out. That was a success, especially with us doing this at the high school level, right? Getting that benchmark data and doing it in a different way. Our kids were fantastic. Our staff was fantastic. We got everybody tested in all 3 tests in a week, and it was just exciting to get that done, and we're excited to kind of look at that information. So the data came back, and one of our trainings this Friday will be how to read the data for our teachers, and then obviously we have some teachers and myself with some experience in that, so we're looking forward to that. According to our high school teachers, they all turned in their parent-teacher conference sign-in sheet. We had the most parents in a very long time in our fall conferences, which was exciting. We are listening to some feedback. We won't be doing that during February next year, but it was just good to see a lot of faces showing up. We had homecoming week. Early in the year, we were kind of worried what that was going to look like, but it was actually pretty cool to get the spirit in our kids, having that common goal so early on and building those connections. Kids were into it. It was festive. Teachers were into it. So that was fantastic. Our band went to the county fair, and they got to play there. They were excited for that experience. Donna said they did fantastic. I didn't get a chance to get out there, but that was awesome. Yesterday, freshmen went to Camp Everhart. Every year was a good experience for them, but it was kind of cool listening to our freshmen talk about, because they go there in 5th grade as well, and talking about like the differences that they had when they were 4 years ago. Like they remembered some of the stuff and how much better they've gotten. So like they got to see their own growth, which is pretty cool. And then coming up here in the next few weeks, or next week, and the week after, we have pictures next week, and then our NMSQT test, our juniors will be taking that test, and that is going to our next section here. I am going to bring Jaden right up here. I'm going to read something from NMSQT, so that's the college board. They do, that's where our PSAT, our SATs, and the SAT tests are taken. You can come up here. So they sent us a letter. They're going to recognize Jaden. I'm going to read it on behalf of the National Merit Scholarship Corporation. So it says, "Dear Jaden, this letter of commendation signifies your designation as a commended student in the National Merit Scholarship Program. Your high selection index score places you among the top 50,000 students who entered the 2026 National Merit Program by taking the 2024 NMSQT. All of us associated with the program join officials of your high school in congratulating you for your excellent performance on the PSAT and the NMSQT. You are among about 34,000 commended students nationwide who have shown exceptional academic promise. Your performance on a qualifying test was outstanding, and recognition as a commended student is a credit to you, your family, and your high school. So congratulations." It's not very often we didn't get one of those the year before, so Jaden's score was exceptional, and he's a bright young man, and I'm excited to see what he does in his future. So, perfect. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jaden. Also, just so you know, since Brooke's not here, we did sweep
Centerville, football, volleyball, so. Just saying, it was fun.
I do have some, the freshman class yesterday, I went with them, and it was nice to hear how the boys themselves, they were like, this is a nice day for us to put aside our differences and work together and kind of bond with each other. So that was kind of nice to hear the boys say that too, so.
Within White Pigeon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. So, like Damien mentioned, FWEA wrapped up for us. We're used to taking some benchmark assessments, but this was definitely a different beast. But it was done, and we saw some great things from our testing. So, third grade went to the fair last week on Wednesday to learn about agriculture, and they got to witness the Miracle of Birth tent. So all of the fun things that third grade does every year. Grandparents' Day in kindergarten. The kindergarten teacher set up Grandparents' Day for the kids, so it was really neat to see all of those grandparents come in and have a snack with the students, and then they got to go out on the playground. And then students went to lunch, and the grandparents went home. So it was a great day. Our new pickup location is going well. I know that you guys probably all saw that we had to do some changes at the beginning of the year with pickup, with the influx of especially young fives, kindergarten and first grade getting picked up. But where we have it now it's working great. We've had some really good feedback from the parents that are in line. It doesn't take too long to get through that line, so that's good.
I've actually heard some good feedback too.
Good. I'm glad. We changed to trading post tickets last year, which is our incentive. We are solely doing trading post tickets now, and so far this year we've given out 2,500 trading post tickets. Actually, we've given out more than that. These are just the tickets that the students have turned in for prizes and rewards. So 2,500 tickets have been turned in for prizes. Super exciting. Our whole school positive reward was met. Each classroom set their individual goal. Didn't matter what it was. If their class met it, they got a leaf and they got to put it on the tree. When we got 10 leaves, they got 10 extra minutes of recess. Everybody in the building, regardless. I lost my notes. Because we have a few more days in September, we are looking for 2 more leaves. If they do that, they get an additional 10 minutes. In October, if they get 12 leaves through the whole month, each student gets a Happy Meal coupon. McDonald's was able to donate a stack of coupons for every student to have a Happy Meal for good behavior. So, our class is
teachers
going.
for good behavior.
The teachers do get coupons too. I forgot to mention that each teacher gets a coupon. Yeah. I can say that our local businesses here have done a really great job in help supporting the initiatives, especially at Central, for our students. And then art class is going great. We've kicked off the year. That first week we had art class, and the kids are loving it. The families, so we've got some good feedback from families. Teresa is loving being in that role. It fits her to a T, so it's wonderful. An upcoming event is Trunk or Treat. Last year we moved it over to this building in the bus loop because Haunted Hallways was here. And so in order to bring the districts together, the 2 buildings together, and have a fun afternoon, we're going to do that again. So 2 to 3:30, we're having Trunk or Treat. If you know of any businesses or local participants that want to be there at that event, please send them my way. If the school board wants a trunk, you guys can have a trunk too. Okay, there's my plug.
Yeah, and know that I've gotten hit up twice. You got once yesterday and once today about trunk or treat. And so I think local people are really starting to pick up on it and ask. So just send them Katie's way. So I got a little caught off guard, and I was like, I know when it is. You can call Katie. So like I gotta get that information. So
What was the date?
25th.
25.
So they're gonna be the trunk and treat over there, and then youth and government's gonna have the haunted hallways in here for $5. So we have games in the gym and then the haunted hallway throughout, so it's really a fun time.
still just waiting on a budget, so no official.
Okay. I need a motion to add an addition, under the action items.
I'll make a motion to add an addition to the action items.
I'll second. I got a motion by Andy, a second by Michelle. Stacy? Jennifer? Aye. Andy?
Aye.
Michelle? Aye. Myself, aye, motion carried. Application for early graduation, Dean.
Alright. So if you looked in our handbook at some point this year, or many years, we have, there's a section that talks about early graduation. And
Well, on board
Board
policy.
policy.
Yeah, we have a board policy on it. We have for a long time with no paperwork to back it up, so we do now.
So we kind of revisited that. Early graduation kind of aligns with our commitment to kind of personalized student learning. It's going to serve students who are academically advanced, highly motivated, and ready both academically and socially to move on to the next phase of their career. We've kind of had this push for the alternative education, right, not the traditional timeline. So we've been pushing dual enrollment, early middle college, work-based learning, and CTE. This is kind of like the next phase in that as well. This will offer a flexible option for students who've met all of the requirements and are ready to move on. So like with dual enrollment, there's like a cap for how many credits that a student can take. So if the student meets that cap because they're going on a timeline and then just coming back here to take unnecessary credits wouldn't be in their best interest. And again, we're always looking out for our students. Obviously not all students can exercise this option. We would first consider pushing, hey, like if we can pay for some of your college, let's take care of that first. And all of the other opportunities we have here. However, for some students, they're going to reach that, and it's going to be time to move on for them, and we want to be able to support them with that. So there's going to be a formal application. We're going to review it. It's going to be admin and counselor recommendation, and then also we would know what kind of that conversation with parents about what the post-graduation plan is. That way, we wouldn't just say, hey, I want to graduate early and then go do nothing with the next year of your life. So it's just kind of acceleration for students who are ready to move on, and trying to match them where they're at. So again, we're just trying to be students where they are, celebrating their readiness and then support their transition to future success.
Excellent. Anybody have anything on that? Flip chart, Shelley, and Dean, if you want to leave now, you can.
I'm going to listen to Shelley talk about the flip chart on the side.
Good answer. No, so in front of you, so a couple of weeks ago, we had what we would normally call a phase one lockdown over at Central, and but it is technically, it was then called actually a shelter in place, but it's actually not even called that. So this verbiage concept throughout the county is something that everybody's trying to get on the same page. And Todd and Pete and myself met with the county and 2 to 3 weeks prior to our incident, and they knew that the verbiage that we had, and they knew that everything was fine. They knew we were kind of moving into what's called the I Love You Guys program, as the state is kind of pushing that verbiage. And we knew that. They knew we weren't there. Most of the schools in the county are not using that yet. But so after our incident, it kind of went around like, he used the wrong verbiage. No, he used the verbiage that our people knew, and our people, our staff, our students, our parents, everybody, it went without a hitch. But it became clear that I don't want to put our district out there to have it be, we're not changing with anything. Because we certainly, if it was told to us 3 weeks prior that this needed to change, we would have done it. We absolutely need the support of our, law enforcement and all of that. So we're making that change now, a minimal change now with way more to come, which we knew was coming. So so now if it ever happens in White Pigeon again, we'll be using the verbiage, and other districts, I guess, will do the same if they have an incident and they don't use that verbiage, so, but we're going to, so, because it's a good thing. So in front of you, you have the new verbiage. You have to take away from your thought process of phase 1 and phase 2. And if you've been in this district for any number of time, you know what that means. And but the word lockdown, ever since everybody has all of the violence in school, that verbiage now has a connotation to it that is different than it was maybe even 10 years ago. And it just continues to kind of mean different things. And so phase 1 is like when we had a teacher that had a stroke at Central during the day. You go to phase 1, go to your rooms, and then we will let you know if you can pass to specials, or in this building we had a medical emergency in the office. Just, hey, everybody stay out. If you need something, go down to Mrs. McClure's office. She'll be, we'll have admin down there while EMTs come in or whatever. Or we've had children that might run up and down the hall, and they are looking for an audience, and I've done that, right? So not the but it's phase 1 lockdown. But that word now, people get scared of that. So we are updating with the times, right? So that an inside incident where something might be having to be indoors, that would be the hold. So the word hold would be that. So we would say, teachers, we're going to go into a hold. And that means different things depending on what's going on. That's an inside thing. A secure would be the incident that actually happened at Central when we had somebody around the playground that was not authorized to be there. We needed to determine who that was. And so that would be secure. That means if you are outside, you're getting inside. And a secure could become then a hold if necessary. But a secure is what happened. And so actually they wanted us to use the verbiage shelter in place, which is actually not, which would not be accurate. So I think everybody's kind of learning through a transition phase. But so the verbiage secure would have been what was used. And so this is not implemented yet. I wanted to show the board first. And so we are still using our old verbiage because until our teachers have this in their hands, we cannot expect them to do anything different. That is unfair. And so this is the flip chart. It usually has a red thing on the front. So this is all of our emergency things, and this is not for the public. This is for, you don't give this out to people so that everyone knows what you're doing. But if you look, here's the word lockdown. So we flip to lockdown. So instead of lockdown, this is going to be in there. So you see hold, secure, lockdown. And so then the word lockdown is what everybody traditionally thinks of a lockdown now. So a phase 2. And that is you are, staying silent in your room away from me. So I won't go into other details here, but that is what a lockdown is. So there's hold, secure, lockdown. Well, I don't know, I don't remember if it's inside outside. It doesn't matter. If you hear the word hold, you find hold and you read. If you hear the word secure, just like if you hear the word, if there's a power line down, this is what you do. So there's a lot of changes that are coming to this, but to get us immediately on board, so we are using the same verbiage because that is so important. I'm making this immediate change in this one page. This needs to be updated, and we were in the process of doing that because the state by 2026 there's changes that are in place. And everybody's working on updating this stuff, but I felt it was important enough after that incident to update this page. And so we are going to be removing that page, inserting this page on all of these. Our goal will be to have all of that transition probably by the end of next week, so in both buildings. So I just wanted to give that to you.
I like that.
Thanks.
I was a teacher, so
Yeah.
I would really like that.
Yeah.
It's just so much more clear.
It is, and you will get on this. So if you ever get on the I Love You Guys website, it's not .com. Be careful because that is, it's free training, it's great. There's other things on here, you will see evacuate shelter, we're not implementing that yet. We needed to change the one area that we knew was appropriate for us and needed to be changed, which was the verbiage of phase 1, phase 2. And so we took that out. What replaces that? Well, those, if you look at the word evacuate, look at shelter and what's underneath there, those wouldn't be appropriate to add in there yet. But that program also has a whole reunification program. That's really intense and it's got a lot of components to it. So this was going to take time to roll in and truly do it right. And there'll be parts of it that maybe aren't appropriate for us to do. But it's a good thing that everyone's trying to get on the same page. And one of the things you'll notice in this is it says this is what students do, this is what adults do. That is different than anything in here. And so that I could see us moving towards a lot of these. This is really like first responder, like if you came into contact with a fire, this says what you do, but you're still in the building, what do you do on a fire? That I'm thinking can be maybe, so this is like, I don't know the verbiage yet, but first person, I see the fire, this is what I do, but you're still in the building, that's what you do. So I'm not sure yet. We have to I don't want too many of these flip charts going around. So this one I decided just to do, it's important that I use this verbiage, which it clearly states student and then adults and staff. I didn't want to take away from this, so I made it a little different in columns. So just wanted you guys to have this. This is not for the public, neither is this, so that's why it's not out there. Our action plan is that's different, but this is not that. But I wanted you guys to have it, so by the end of next week, our hope is to have this in teachers' hands, the updated version. Any questions? Okay. In an update, I'll send you guys the link to that. I love you guys. Anybody can look it up. But there is a .com and a .org, so it's neat stuff. It takes time to do it right, though. I'm a big proponent that when it comes to emergencies, there's a lot of ways of doing things. And the best way is what your people know how to do, which is exactly what happened a few weeks ago. We might not have been using the most updated verbiage, but our people knew what to do. And yes, we all admin knew this was coming, but it didn't matter because we knew, I'm adamant, we had people trying to change some things before, adding words. I said, we're not adding a thing because for one, not everybody would know about it, and we're not doing that. We will update together as a district, not one building, and then, no, we're doing the same thing. And that message is clear, and it is evident from what happened a few weeks ago. But we do need to make that change. So, and we will make it all together. So do you guys have any feedback on this before we move forward? This particular page right here.
I like that we have a illustrated.
Okay.
And it's very simple.
And if, this will be for the rest of the year, if the teachers look at this and they're like, oh no, okay, what's your feedback, too. But we gotta do something, right? So.
I could almost see your panic almost overwhelming, where that's just kind of like,
Right.
Yes.
yeah.
We talked about that a lot, Todd and Pete and I did, because there is a lot in here, and this is so simple that you want to add and add and add. That isn't the add. There could be, if you see it, does say, look at the emergency action plan for more. That's your detail.
Yeah.
That's when you've calmed down, that's the detail. This is emergency, what do I do right now?
Take a deep breath, this is what I need to do right
And
now.
some of this in here will say, stay calm. Of course, as a police officer, do we really need that? Yes, we do need that reminder in there. Remember, we're all different lenses, so, yeah.
Well, on that, I love you guys. They did talk about that. Dave Northrop and the sheriff talked about it.
Yeah.
And at a school board meeting when we went to
Yes.
the county.
Yes.
School board meeting.
Yep.
So they did, say things were changing and coming, so.
Yep, and so, Constantine just did a whole day long training over there, and the superintendent over there invited all of us to come, and Todd and Pete did go over there for the day, and got the basics of this, just as observers, and so it's a free training, and we hope to bring some of that in here, but it's really, all the materials are there that we can do it too. So.
I love that you're reaching across
Yeah.
the county.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's a great resource.
Yeah, yes. So that's what that is. If you have any more questions or anything, well, we could chat, but I'll send that link to you guys too, to make sure you get the right one.
All right, on to the board interviews. We have 5 interviews. What's gonna happen